I thought, well, okay, well, I'm obviously going to fail my degree anyway, so I'm not going to try. And I was minus £800 into my overdraft. I was absolutely heartbroken. Making the most of your 9k a year, guys, do you know what I mean? I've never even admitted that to my friends, so this is the first time I'm really admitting that, I guess. Hey guys, what is up, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella, and in today's video we're going to be talking all about my biggest mistakes at university. Now, let's be clear, this is only a selection of my mistakes that I have made at university, because of course, as with any other human being, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. But I hope by sharing some of these mistakes with you that maybe I can help you avoid making the same mistakes that I did. Just before we get into this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to join the little family that we've got going on here. I would love to have you. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Number one, check your bank balance. I'm going to do you a little mini story time here, just so you can get some context for this particular mistake. So imagine it's first year, it's spring semester, and I'm going about my life. I'm living my best lavish life. I am buying the most expensive food in the supermarkets. I'm going out for cocktails. I'm going out so many times a week, buying all these new clothes and makeup, blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't checking my bank balance. Don't know why, don't know who I thought I was, don't really know where I sort of found that audacity, but I wasn't checking my bank balance. And one morning I was sat in my university room with my then boyfriend, and I thought, oh, I need to check my bank balance. My mum asked me to check if some money she had sent me had gone in my account, and I went to check, and I was minus £800 into my overdraft. Minus £800. So it's all fun and games living that expensive champagne lifestyle, but if you're on a lemonade budget, where are you getting that money from? Do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say pretty much is be aware of your spending habits and check your bank balance. I don't know why I wasn't checking my bank balance. I think I just assumed that I wasn't spending that much. I think I just sort of guessed that it would all be okay, but clearly minus £800, you know, it really wasn't. Let me tell you, whilst it doesn't really technically matter that you were in your overdraft, because you're not going to have to pay any interest on it until, you know, you finish your degree. Even though that is the case, let me tell you, anyone who has been in their overdraft will agree with me. It's a horrible, horrible feeling being in that overdraft. It just makes you feel like, it just makes you feel so sad and annoyed all the time, and you constantly just are annoyed that the number is a minus. So my biggest tips would be to have a budget. Do not be silly with your money and do not spend outside your means. Number two, do not get too drunk. Seriously. It's all fun and games drinking at university, you know? We all joke about it, we're all like, haha, banter, you know, let's get really drunk, pre-drinks, all of that kind of thing. Like, that is a very common sort of thing that people say at university, you know, let's go out, let's have fun, la la la. And, you know, drinking is a very social experience. It can be really fun. It can be really fun when done in the right way. What I am saying is just be aware that when you are in that state, you automatically make yourself more vulnerable. And I'm saying that for like multiple things. That's not even just for like one thing, because when you're drunk, you're not able to sort of perceive things in the same way you would when you're sober. So what I'm trying to say, just be aware for your own safety. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, have fun, go out with your friends, have a good time, but just be aware and make sure you're going out with people that would look after you if you did get too drunk, because there's nothing worse than being in that state and being with people who don't care about you and would leave you on your own if you're in that way. So my third biggest mistake would be not branching out friend-wise. Now, I'm referring to first year when I say this. When I was in first year, I didn't join any societies, barely made any friends outside of my actual block that I lived in Broadgate Park. And honestly, as much as I loved my friend group and as much as I had a sick time, looking back, I wish I had branched out more and just made more friends. Only because if you don't branch out, then you literally limit yourself in so many different ways. Like, it's so good to have a wide group of friends at university, and I'm like the first person to be like, you know, have real friends over lots of friends. But when it comes to being at university, I would say it's good to have a mix of both, honestly. And as well, make sure that you join societies. Don't do what I did and literally join nothing, because the problem is when you do that, all you've got is your degree and going out, and that is it. Like, there is nothing else for you to do besides that. Especially if you've got less contact hours, it can get very intense if you don't have something else to do. If you're already at university and you've made that mistake, you know, and you're going into second or third year, then don't worry, because literally I was the exact same. And then in second year, I joined a few societies, NSTV being one of them, and I'm now actually on the committee for NSTV. I'm head of news, and I'm so glad that I got as involved with it as I did, because now it's like one of the highlights of my university experience, and it's a whole other group of friends that I have that has absolutely nothing to do with my degree or with my halls, you know. The next biggest mistake that I made was not getting any help from my tutors. Now, there is multiple reasons why I didn't do this. First of all, I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to ask dumb questions at like a top UK university and then think that I was stupid, which now saying that out loud is so dumb. I understand why I felt like that, but it is so dumb because lecturers literally love answering questions no matter what it is. They love answering questions. If you put your hand up in a lecture, the lecturer is beside themselves. They literally can't believe that you're even asking that question. They love the fact that, you know, people are interacting, whatever. So if you go to see a lecturer in their office hours or email them, they will honestly really appreciate it and like it. And I know it's quite daunting because I'm honestly still to this day when I go to ask for help, I'm still a little bit like, ugh, these are all really clever people. But even though you might feel like that, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go and ask for help, because honestly, help from your tutors is just absolutely invaluable. It can give you so many insights into doing well at university. And I know that as soon as I started getting more help from my tutors, my grades literally went from here to like genuinely here. So it's really worth asking your tutors for help and actually making the most of your 9k a year, guys. Do you know what I mean? Now, this next mistake that I made is definitely more personal, but I know I'm not the only person who feels like this, so I thought it might be worth sharing. Anyway, so my next biggest mistake was having one failure, one bad thing happen to me in my life, and then automatically applying it to the rest of my life and thinking my whole life is a mess. And then as a result of that, genuinely letting it take over my life. So at the start of first year, my first boyfriend and I, my first love, we broke up. And I was absolutely heartbroken. The 6 months that followed that breakup were genuinely some of the hardest months in my life, and I've never even admitted that to my friends. So this is the first time I'm really admitting that, I guess. When my breakup first happened, I genuinely felt like my whole life had gone to shit. Like, I was like, okay, this boy that I love so much is broken up with me. And then I thought, well, okay, well, I'm obviously going to fail my degree anyway, so I'm not going to try. And I stopped thinking about what I was eating. I was just overeating so much. I put on 3 stone in 6 months just for some, you know, like I really was overeating. I wasn't exercising. I was literally just going out with my friends constantly during first year, and I was really unhappy. On top of that, I got into another relationship really quickly, and looking back on it now, I definitely should have given myself more time to heal. I didn't, and you know, that's done now, and you know, I'm where I am today because of that. But looking back on it, I definitely should have given myself that time to heal. I guess what my point is, you know, give yourself a break and be kind to yourself. I feel like it's so easy to be self-critical and to tell yourself, you know, you're all of these things, you're a failure, just because one bad thing happens in your life, you automatically apply it to everything, and you're like, okay, well, I can't do anything. I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to find love again. I'm never going to be happy. These are all things that I was telling myself when that breakup happened. And the matter of the fact is, it's just not true. And as hard as it is to see it when you're in the middle of it, just because one bad thing happens in your life, that doesn't mean your whole life has gone to ruin. Take every single bad thing that happens to you as a learning curve and use it to help you grow. Don't let it hinder you and hold you back like I did. And obviously that doesn't just apply for breakups. I am just using that as an example because obviously there's so many other things that can happen to you at uni. But that's just my personal experience, and one thing that definitely, you know, took over my life for a little while. And finally, finishing on a bit of a lighter note, my final biggest mistake that I made at university was not savouring every single moment of it. Now, I know that sounds cheesy, and you're probably thinking, oh Ella, shut up, you always talk about, you know, make the most of your university experience, but trust me, I'm going into my 3rd year and I am going to make the most of every single second I have at that university for this next year. I'm going to make the most of every second because I will never get to experience it again. Once I leave, that will be it. You know, they have been some of the best years of my life, and I hope they will be some of the best years of your life too. Just be present and try to enjoy it. Your university experience is not going to be perfect, and I've never ever tried to sit here and claim that it's going to be perfect all the time. Just make the most of it, have fun, and try and learn from my mistakes. Also, some less serious but fun tips. Don't bring a kettle, you absolutely do not need one. Don't know why I brought a kettle in first year, really weird behaviour. And sometimes I would boil that kettle just because I had a kettle. It had no use, it barely got used. So don't bring a kettle, you really don't need one. Also, another really weird fun tip, but mark your cutlery and your pans with something so you know they're yours. Like maybe do a little bit of nail polish on the end, wrap a little bit of tape around it, whatever you need to do. It's just, otherwise I guarantee you by the end of the year you will be left with absolutely no knives. Your forks will have gone MIA and your spoons won't be heard from again. So just listen to me right now. Mark your belongings that are in the kitchen and the shared areas. Just trust me on this one. And that just about rounds up today's video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you would like a notification every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, then my handle is @ella.houghton. Follow me on there for all the most up-to-date information on what is going on in my life, and follow me on TikTok. My handle is @ella.houghton and the last O is a 0. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!